Okay, we proceed to chapter 7, that is work measurement, which you can find in chapter 9 in your textbook. I'm going to show you how to use the time study method. So for this, we are going to use example 9.2 on page 238. So let's see the question. A time study was carried out on a job which consists of 3 different tasks, all of which must be completed in order to complete the manufacturing of 1 unit of output. So this sentence here says in order to produce 1 unit of output, 3 tasks need to be performed, which are A, B, and C. You can see from the table. The observer decides to delete unusual observations from the time study. So later you understand what is unusual observation here. The data collected from the exercise are as follows. So you are given a table consisting of 3 columns, where you can see there are 3 tasks involved, which are A, B, and C. In the second column, you are given the observed time. Okay, remember we have 3 concepts of time. So this is the observed time. The manager observed the worker doing the job and record the time. So for the observed time here given, there are 4 times of observations done. Ada 4 kali observation dibuat. That's why we have 4 observations here, 4 sub-columns in the observed time. And last column shows you the performance rating in percentage. This refers to the work pace. Okay, from the slides that I explained. Work pace here means the speed in doing the job. Kelajuan pekerja dalam membuat task dia. Okay. So 120%, which is more than 100%, shows that the worker is doing the job at a faster work pace. 80 and 90%, which are below 100%, shows that the workers are doing the job at a slower work pace. Okay. Then right below the table, you are given the allowances, which there are 3 types of allowances given here. Personal time 30 minutes, relaxation 50 minutes, and process allowance 20 minutes. And the working time or working hours given here is 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you have to calculate how many hours are there from 8 until 4. So altogether there are 8 hours. Okay, now the first question here is A. Compute the basic or normal time for the operation. Okay, to calculate the basic time, first is we need to calculate the average observed time. Okay, observed time yang diberi dalam soalan ni ada 4 observations. So for observed time, we need to calculate the average observed time first, which I term as AOT. Okay, AOT. So we have to do it task by task. So let's see task A first. We calculate the average observed time. So before you start calculating the average observed time, you need to find is there any abnormal time or not. Kena cari dalam observation time yang 4 tu, ada tak abnormal time. Okay, abnormal time here means time that has a huge difference or huge gap, okay, compared to other observation time. So you cari dalam task A, we are now on task A, ada tak masa yang nampak janggal or abnormal. So first observation, there is 2 minutes, second 2.5, and then 2.3, and the last one 2.6. So it looks like these 4 observation times are normal. Sebab dia punya gap dia tak banyak. So we call it as they are all normal time. So there is no abnormal time. So you don't have to do anything. And to find the average, we divide by 4. Why? Because it involves 4 numbers here. So in the end, we get 2.35 minutes. Okay, as for task B, okay, check before you start calculating the average observed time, is there any abnormal time or not? Okay, the first observation took 3.5 minutes. Second observation took 10 minutes. Third 3.7, and the last one 3 minutes. So out of these 4 observation times, is there any abnormal time or not? We can identify clearly that 10 minutes here is the abnormal time. Maksudnya jarak ataupun gap dia tu terlalu jauh. Okay, so maybe something has happened while the worker was performing the job. So that's why the worker took a very long time in the second observation. So because of this abnormal time, we have to take out that, or we have to exclude that in our calculation to calculate the average observed time. So we take only 3 observation times here which are normal, 3.5, 3.7 and 3, and kita keluarkan 10. So because of it involves only 3 numbers here, and we have to divide by 3. Okay? And in the end, we get 3.4 minutes as the average observed time. Okay, and for the last task here, C, when we check, there is no abnormal time because 5, 6, 8 and 7, they are having very little gap. So we can consider all this as normal time. So we take all 4 observation times and we divide by 4. And we get the average observed time for task C, that is 6.5 minutes. What we calculated just now was the average observed time. Okay, yang ni adalah average observed time. So we have not answered the question yet. The question wants us to calculate the basic time or normal time. So refer to the formula in your textbook. Basic time is where we take the average observed time, that is over here, multiply with this. OR is the observed rate and SR is the standard rate. Okay. So what is observed rate? Observed rate is the rate given in your question that refers to performance rating. And standard rate is equal to 100. Every time standard rate is equal to 100, which we call as the normal work pace. So for task A, we just take from what we have calculated earlier, the average observed time 2.35, multiply with the observed rate given for task A is 120%. Okay, over here 120, and divided by the observed rate that is 100. So in the end we get 2.82 minutes. Okay, now we do the same thing for the other 2 tasks, A, B and C. So we take 3.4, the average observed time for B, multiply with the performance rating given, 80% divided by the standard rate 100. So we end up getting 2.72 minutes. And for the last task, we will get 5.85 minutes. So to answer question A, okay, for the basic time. So you cannot just calculate basic time according to task like this. You have to calculate according to task. But to answer, you have to total up all the basic time for all the tasks. So tambahkan semua basic time for task A, B until C. So the answer for question A is a total of everything. It equals to 11.39 minutes.